guys, hope you are all doing really well. Welcome back to another YouTube video. If you're new to my channel, my name is Steph and I am a mum from New Zealand. I usually upload regular content on motherhood, our lifestyle. I dabble a little bit in budgeting, well, trying to dabble a little into budgeting. So if that is something that you're into, then hit that subscribe button because that obviously really supports my channel. Today I'm going to be resetting my budget. So in my last video, I did share that I quit my job and our finances because of that have changed quite dramatically. In my monthly reset videos, I do show my budget and how I budget everything. So if you guys haven't seen those videos, then maybe do click on those so that you can kind of get an idea of how I budget, but I will definitely talk about it more in depth in this video. And I also do want to share some of my tips on how I save money. So if we jump straight into my budget first, and we'll reset my budget because that is the main thing that I want to do today. I'm going to go right into depth on how much money we're earning, how much our mortgage costs, and see what's left and divvy that up between what we need to spend on a monthly basis. Alright, so here's my budget. This is the same budget that I have shared in the past in my monthly reset videos. I do everything on Excel and I format everything to kind of make sense to me. So I will quickly just talk about my budget just in case you are new to my channel. At the top it has my monthly breakdown, which used to be how much I would have for our budget. Obviously, like I mentioned, this is going to change. I then have our fees and insurance here, which is actually broken up over here. Our fees insurance is kind of like a yearly cost that I break down as a monthly basis. It is the amount of money that I have to have because unfortunately our insurance and all that comes first. My car, Jamie's car, is for our car insurance. We have to pay for our car ×2 for the WOF. Then we have to have house insurance. We've got house rates and we've got our car regos. So that's our yearly cost, which I have split that up per month. I then over here have our monthly cost, which includes our internet, which we pay monthly. Water care, I estimated $50 per month, which is what we usually spend. Sometimes it'll be like a little bit more, like 52, but sometimes it might be like 48. Insurance here is just from our yearly costs, so that's all of that split into that for monthly costs. And then power, I have again just averaged it to $200 per month. I have to spend $673.95 for my insurance, our internet, water, all of that. So that is $673.95 that I have to have. So that is why I rounded it up to $675 and put it in my monthly breakdown. The second thing that I have to have is obviously my mortgage. So I did mention in the past that we had saved money to pay for our mortgage for the end of the year so that Jamie could come off work. We've decided to include our mortgage payment in this budget, which kind of sucks because our interest rate has just gone up, and it's gone up quite a bit as well, which means that our monthly breakdown for our mortgage is $2,672, which means that that's a total of $3,347 that I have to have per month, which actually is quite a big sum. Now, talking about my new income and Jamie's income, since I have stopped working, I have put it over here. So this is income after tax. So Jamie earns $800 a week and Steph, myself, earns $424 a week. I have then based that on a monthly 4-week cycle, which ends up of a total of $4,896. As you guys can see, it's not a lot considering $3,347 out of that $4,896 has to go into our house and insurance. So I'm going to now change this monthly breakdown to $4,896. Now what I'm going to do is divvy up what's left and put it in extra cost, petrol, food, savings. As you guys can see here in my budget, I have been writing down how much I spend monthly since February for everything. So for extras, petrol, food. The past couple months where we were both working full time, I'm just like wiping that out. Like you guys can see, we spend a ridiculous amount of money in July and August on food. That's because we were getting takeaways all the time, so we're just not really going to base our future budget on that. But then one thing that I will look at is petrol. $773 is when we were both working full time. If you can look at March, I wasn't working. Jamie was only working 2 days a week, which is what he's gone back to. So we spent $412 in March on petrol. I can base this month off around that $400. So I'm going to put $400 here on petrol. I'll quickly also just do a little sum, which tells me how much is left. Okay, so $400 on petrol should be able to get Jamie to work for 2 days a week. At the end of the day, this is going to be a very tight budget that we're going to try out. If we can't drive somewhere for 1 week, it's all right, we'll make do. Now for food, I have always kind of gone around the $500 mark. You can see here February $300 we spent, March $200. Not too sure why that was so low. April $530, which is kind of what I always aim to go. June $500. That means I'm left with $649 for that month, which you guys can see right here. Extra costs, if you can see here, extras, I'm probably spending around the $600. Extra cost for me is everything. It's us taking Charlie to the pool, it's us taking Charlie to gymnastics class, our phone. We might spend a bit less summer because we usually tend to go to the beach rather than taking him to gymnastics class because it's sunny. But I am going to put $600 in our extra costs. I do like to have money. I don't want to feel like we're super tight and we can't enjoy ourselves. At the end of the day, we both work really hard for our money. We are in a phase where I'd rather enjoy what we're doing as a family rather than save that money, if that makes sense. Which means I'm left with $49 that I'm going to be putting into savings. $49 a month. Now don't get me wrong, $49 a month is a very little amount of savings, and I do like to put money aside. I do like to have a good savings account. The reason why I'm not too afraid about my savings and why I'm only putting in $49 is that I do off jobs. I am a contractor, I work for myself, and I do pick up days here and there, and if I do pick up odd jobs, that money would go directly into our savings account. So anyway, you guys can see here from my budget, I have broken down my monthly breakdown, $4,896, and have created myself a budget. I can now remove this. Now what I do every end of the week is I put in the amount that I've spent. I just go through my Westpac, look through my bank, and just put in the amount of money that I have spent in the specific section that it fits. So if it was petrol, I spent, $100 to fill up my car, I'd put $100. So yeah, that is pretty much our budget. Kind of tight, a little bit scary, but I hope we can make it work. Now, like I mentioned, I do also want to share some quick tips on how I manage to save money. We are a family of 3, and although Charlie is very young, he still does eat a lot of food. He still needs diapers, he needs essentials. Honestly, the main tip that I can give you guys is planning. I can see the biggest difference when I plan my weeks and my food and my grocery shops and when I don't. I will show you guys a little bit of an example. So this is my 2022 planner. Just before this video, I actually went through next week and I planned out what we're gonna eat every day. So as you guys can see here, on Monday 12th, I have our dinner, and every week I have done that. Planning out your dinner does mean that you can create a shopping list and stick to that shopping list. It prevents you from buying snacks. It prevents you from buying unnecessary items. And then the second tip that I have is when you're creating a dinner or you're choosing a dinner, A, make it big enough that you can have some for lunch, or B, make it big enough that you can then use it the next day, but switch it around. As you guys can see here, on Monday 12th, I've decided that we will have nachos. We usually have vegetarian nachos. Tuesday, I've actually decided to use the same bean mixture that we would use for our nachos and add it with the rice, and potentially just put a bit of salad, put some extra corn, and make it like a bit of a Mexican bowl. I'm saving time and I'm saving money because on Monday I'm making a big amount of bean mixture. I'm using it on Monday for my nachos, and then I'm using it on Tuesday for my Mexican bowl. I don't have to cook on Tuesday, and bean mixture is probably a very cheap dish. I also have decided to do the same thing on Friday and Wednesday, so they don't have to be back-to-back days. So on Wednesday I wanted to do a lentil mixture with a potato top. My dinner menu is quite brief, but we do have these recipes inside our head, and they're kind of like regular recipes. In our lentil mixture we usually have carrot, celery, mushroom, just that type of stuff, and then we'll put potato on top and put it in the oven. And then I decided to use that same lentil dish, add in a can of tomatoes to make it kind of like a spaghetti lentil bolognese, a vegetarian option of a spaghetti bolognese. So again, I am using the same food that I'm making on Wednesday for Friday, meaning that I don't have to cook on Friday. And if you're worried about the food turning bad in your fridge because you're not eating it for 2 days, you can put it in the freezer and then defrost it when you need it. On Thursday, I decided to do like a tuna rice salad. We do have some chicken in the freezer, so Jamie can have a chicken option if he wants. Just something a little bit different, but also very, very cheap. The meals that I pick, I think once or twice a month, I'm gonna treat us to like a fish or something a little bit more expensive. But if you really look and think about my dinner options, they're all super healthy. A tuna rice salad, lentil spaghetti, bean mixture with rice, like they're all good wholesome food, but they are cheap to make. We're not spending a lot of money here, guys. Now you might be thinking, what about Charlie? That's my son. He is 2 years old. He eats the same as we do. We've been doing baby-led weaning from the get-go, and sometimes he is fussy and doesn't want to eat what we're doing. We don't make him a specific different meal. We'll just look at things that we do have that's already made, and we just give that to him. That is my biggest saving tip, is meal planning and creating your grocery list when going into the supermarket. Now, another few little tips that I can share, which I do understand it is not for everyone, but this is just ways on how I save money. Minimizing the amount of time that we'll have takeout. Like I mentioned, we spend so much more money when we take out. We still have date days, guys, and date nights, and we still enjoy our food. We will make food, take it as a picnic, and we'll go eat it at the beach. And sometimes that's way nicer than going to a restaurant. Or we'll make our home restaurant and put the candles on here and dress up nicely, but have dinner at home, save money that way. Lunches, we don't eat lunches out. We usually just make ourselves a sandwich, eggs, whatever's at home. Anyway, I think that's pretty much the main things that I wanted to talk about, and I do hope that it can be helpful to someone out there if you're watching this video and you're possibly struggling with how to save money or how to create a budget. If you have any questions around this kind of topic, you guys can hit me up on Instagram. I'm more than happy to answer anything to my best knowledge. I'm no pro at saving, I'm no pro at budgeting, but it is something that I'm very interested in. And if you guys do want to see more videos like this, then please hit the like button on this video so that I know you enjoyed it and that I can create more videos like this. Anyway, I will wrap up here because I feel like I've been talking for a decent amount of time. Thanks so much for watching this video, guys. As always, I really appreciate it, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye!